This is Marcus Washington from Making the Cut. I'm here with James Butler from Drexel. How you doing today, James?
I'm doing very well. Unusual circumstances we got going on, but happy to be on this call right now.
Yeah, talk about the unusual circumstances. What have you done to kind of keep yourself busy from going stir crazy?
Yeah, my family's very into working out and athletics, big basketball family. So my sister and my dad and I, we continue to work out. We have free weights in our basement, so we lift a couple times a week. We go for distance runs and we run sprints. Just the other day, my sister and I were running up the hill, sprints up the hill, doing karaoke. So you get creative, but we're staying in shape. You do a little bit less of the basketball stuff because you can't get to the gym right now, but definitely doing what we can.
Yeah, so speaking of last basketball season, you definitely was Mr. Double-Double over there in the Colonial Athletic Association. And when we look at your career and the arc of your career, you just get better in every category with each year. But one of the things I try to warn coaches about saying, they always talk about rebounding is just effort. And yes, effort's part of it, but there is definitely a skill set to being such a great rebounder. What are some of the things you do to practice and some of the tips that you use to be such an efficient rebounder?
Yeah, I think there is definitely a degree of technique, positioning, but the biggest thing to me, I think, is it's a mindset. I'm going after it every time a shot goes up. I'm seeing where I think the ball's going to go off, and where it's going long or short. And once the ball hits the rim, you're holding your guy off and sealing, and you're exploding and going to get the ball. I mean, it's timing, a little bit of skill, but I think the biggest thing is a huge mindset.
Yeah, not the hope that your teammates miss the ball or whatever the case may be, but how cognizant are you from where the shots are coming from when you're crashing the offensive boards, of where they're coming from, who's shooting it, and kind of where their favorite miss is?
I said, you practice every day with guys, and you get a hold of their tendencies. I don't usually bank on anyone missing, but I know if a guy's getting the ball in a certain part of the floor, when they're going to tend to take the shot, and you just got to treat every shot like it's a miss. I mean, that's my job to go after a rebound. So it goes in, it's great. I mean, if not, I'm going after. I'm going to try to clean it up the best I can.
But offensively, from the time that you first arrived at Drexel, I know you started out at Navy and then got to Drexel. Offensively, where do you think you've made the biggest jump in your game?
I've been working to extend my perimeter game. This last season, I shot fairly well from the mid range. I had a handful of 3-pointers. That's something I want to continue to expand my game. So, I'd like to be able to get it when I'm open, shoot that 3-pointer, or take a guy off the bounce and create more. I think that will continue to expand my game and hopefully take that overseas into professional ball.
Yeah, and speaking of that and going overseas and how the game is different, how much of a chance have you to watch kind of FIBA basketball, international basketball, if that's where you kind of want to go, and what the differences are in that game compared to what a lot of U.S. people here see with the NBA?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of my sister. My sister's played over there. I know men's and women's is a bit different, but I also see a lot of my teammates play. They play on national teams, or they play. Some of the guys who graduate are playing professionally over in Europe or South America. But yeah, I see the game is different. I think you get a lot more ISO one-on-one in America. And you see a lot more of I guess I don't know. You say tactics in overseas ball. So it's something that like anybody who goes over there has to adjust, and you'll see how well you translate over. I mean, you never know. So,
Was there any particular country, in particular league that you were targeting?
um, I'd like to go somewhere in Europe. I speak German from when I was younger, so I'd like to go to Germany, but I'm not too picky. Wherever I can get the best contract and go to a team where I can play.
I speak a little German myself. I had to learn it as a young man. Also, please
Yeah.
don't ask me to speak it because I haven't spoken it in years. But no, definitely, and I can understand feeling comfortable, especially as someone who loves international basketball. I watch an inordinate amount of international basketball. There's certainly a big difference. So I'm going to ask you to go back to your high school years. And the only reason I'm going to ask you that is I used to be a coach at Robinson High School.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and you played at Lake Braddock, correct?
Yes.
So when you were in high school, who would you have said was the toughest guy you ever played against?
Oh, geez. Let me think. I know it was always a big matchup when we played Westfield because they had Tyler Scanlon and they had Blake Francis, who's now at Richmond, both very talented players. And I know that was one matchup where well, I think my senior year we beat them, and that was a big win for me. I remember, always going up against Tyler Scanlon, but also, we played against Woodson. Woodson was very talented. They had the guy, I'm blanking on his name. He went to, I think, Central Connecticut, but I think Eric
Hmm.
Bowles, and they also had Matt Ayub. So there's some very talented guys coming out of the area. I don't think I have one particular matchup that I dreaded. Well, now it comes to my mind. Going against Louis DeJoncum at West Springfield. He transferred in from O'Connell. So he was definitely, him and I went at it a couple times. But
Awesome. And I think around the country that people don't have an appreciation for this whole DC, Maryland, Virginia area and how many Division One college basketball players come out of our area. So you definitely between high school and AAU get to play against some of the best players that end up playing in Division One.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's amazing talent in the area, and when you would play AU, you see all of it. And I think a lot of people are shocked with how much talent comes out of our area.
So, you talked earlier that your family has a very athletic background. Your mom, your dad, and your sister, obviously. Talk about your dad's influence on your game and how he helped you develop into the player that you are today.
Yeah, no, he's the whole reason my sister and I got into basketball. As a young age, it put us in all sports, but we almost always knew we were going to be going into basketball because of his career, and he's trained us since day one. I mean, I can't count how many workouts we've had together. I mean, thousands of workouts. Anytime we can get to the gym, get in there, even if we weren't supposed to be in there, maybe we broke some rules with going and working out. But a huge influence from training to going on runs to watching film. Literally every aspect of my game, he's had a huge impact, and I wouldn't be where I am without him.
You brought up watching film, and I try to tell people all the time there is a skill set to actually watching film, how you watch it, what are the things you're looking for. Can you describe, like, even when you're at Drexel, when you're going over a game and some game feel, what are some of the things that you're trying to pinpoint in improvement and maybe some of the mistakes?
I'd say a big thing is just finding places where I can be more efficient. If I make a move and maybe I miss a shot, why is it? Where can I create more space? How can I separate from the defender? Or maybe let's say a rebound goes off my hand. Well, why did it happen? Did I release too late, or I just didn't go after it? So I personally, after the games, I'll go through the film myself and watch it myself. Then we watch it with the team, and sometimes I watch it with my dad, and we go through it. So I mean, film is a huge part of my game, and I'm always trying to clean up my game, and become as efficient as possible.
So for young guys in high school, guys about to get to high school, what are some of the things that you think they know that they don't know about, the effort, the time, the efficiency of working out? What are some of the things that can help them kind of get ahead that curve that they're going to face when they go to high school and when they try to go and play in college?
Yeah, the big thing is to make yourself stand out that much more. You have to want it, and you have to be working out every day and put in the time and effort. And what I think a lot of guys don't realize is they think that they're the only one doing that when it happens. But when you get to that next level, all those guys were doing that before, and there's guys that were doing it that don't make it sometimes. So you have to put yourself, to contend for a Division One spot or to compete at the Division One level. You have to work, And then the big thing is you start going against guys, that are 4 or 5 years older than you. Once you make that jump, you have to be strong enough. So that's where I think getting into weight training when you're earlier in high school is a big deal, and making sure that you have the strength to translate your game over to the next level.
Yeah, and that, again, still working in that level, I see it, and kids think they know, and they certainly don't know. And you're someone who have already been through this. Now, you mentioned your sister and that she's playing overseas now. Give us a couple minutes of just how good of a college basketball player your sister was.
Oh no, she's amazing. Her accolades and her stats say it all. For I think she broke the single season rebounding record for all of NCAA. And then I think double doubles in a season. She might have 1 or 2 games, and she didn't get a double double for her last year. And playing at UConn, national championships, Final Four appearances. I mean, her resume is unreal. So she's amazing, and we've worked out with each other all our lives, and we push each other to make us better. And it's part of the reason why we both had the success we've had.
So when you got to Drexel, what is, and this is a complete non-basketball question, what was your favorite place to go? Maybe your favorite place to eat, maybe your favorite thing to do. What was the favorite place that you loved to go when you got there?
This is an easy question for me. It is Redden Terminal Market. It's
Yes.
a marketplace with a bunch of different restaurants, different shops. I go there. I always try something new when I go there, but we always go to this restaurant called Denix, and we get roast beef sandwiches, and nothing beats it. And it's the atmosphere for me. I mean, seeing everyone, it's hustling and bustling. It's like that's the city to me. I mean, it's wrapped up in a box with a bow on it.
Most definitely. I mean, I have some extra pounds because of that place. It is definitely one of my favorite places to go. There's a place in the back on the right-hand corner where I love to have breakfast. I don't remember the name of it, but we go there quite a bit when we're in Philadelphia. So I totally feel you on that.
Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, this was going to be pretty short, pretty simple, just trying to get your views on stuff. So, man, I really appreciate